So hi, lovely people. I'm just about to clean my house, as you can see in my outfit. And this talk was just in a pipeline for a bit, so I'm just giving it a try right now. Actually, it's a talk about 3 topics. And one is the term called interbeing, and then the other 2 are happiness and the truth. So interbeing is a term that has been, I don't know if defined, but it has been marked, especially by Thay, Thich Nhat Hanh, who was speaking of that strongly, to recognize that we are interbeings, we are correlated beings, that we are not just separate entities, separate individuals, but that we're deeply interconnected. And in his community, where I've always also been for about 3 weeks, there was really this sense of community, of interconnection, living together in this understanding that we are all deeply connected in the core of our being. And especially now and in the cities also, a lot of people feel very lonely. And then they cover it up with whatever, actions and drinking and sports and Disney World and films and whatever you can get. But this emptiness inside is for some people, or a lot of people, difficult to meet. And so this recognition that there is an interbeing, there is a sense of I'm not separate from the other, can be a deep recognition and also a natural filler of this emptiness inside, so that you know in the core of my being, I'm interconnected with everybody. And I'm also interconnected with the universe itself. In fact, the word aloneness in German is Alleinsein. And this Allein can also be separated in All-Eins. So it can be translated by being one with the universe, with the All. So in this aloneness that you might feel from time to time, or you might cover it up also, but when you feel it, to remember that you're never really alone, but you're all-eins, you're one with the universe, and you're one with every other being in the bottom of your being. Now, in everyday life, of course, you might feel separated, you might have different opinions, you might feel, aggressed or impressed by other people. And in that way, there can be a strong appearance of duality, of separateness from the others. And in this term of Thay, and when you have experienced Thich Nhat Hanh, you can really sense that he is that. You can really feel how his essence is pouring out of him. It's like a nectar pouring out of him and including you in his being. And when you start to cultivate that in you, this nectar of oneness, you can offer your interbeing to other beings just by being yourself, your true self. And you can pour that nectar into the realms of your field, of your life, and you can inspirate or also integrate these people in your interbeing, inclusiveness. And especially now, where We live in a time where there's strong, different opinions in the world, and excluding people and discriminating maybe also. It's important to remind ourselves on some level, we are all the same, even if we have different opinions. And from there, we can create the space to allow everybody to have different opinions and yet still stay in the heart connected to everybody. So maybe I can make the transfer to happiness, because I read in an article that happiness is not something that happens to you. And of course, on a spiritual level, you are the happiness, we could also say. But on a personal level, it's not something that you're lucky enough to have, it happens to you, but it's actually dependent on 4 factors. And I'll read them to you and translate them to you. And one is to be aware that you recognize favorable situations, that you follow your intuition, that you are, in your view on life, positively twisted or austariert, and that you're ready to learn from negative experiences. So to recognize favorable situations, to follow your intuition, to be positively outlooking into life, and to learn from negative experiences. So following your intuition and a positive outlook is also something that is connected with the interbeing, because intuition is somehow a guidance home to our true being. And from there, we can really feel the interconnectedness. And from there, from this deep trust in your true being, there can also come like a trust in life and like a positive outlook in life and an invitation to learn from negative events and not judge yourself for them, or not think, well, life is against me or something is wrong here, but a deep understanding that life is as it is. And I can take it that way or another way. I can judge it, I can refuse it, or I can invite it to come and to see the learning in it. And then I can see the positivity in it, even in difficult situations again. And then coming over to truth, also in an article, I read something very interesting, which is that lies, they diffuse in the internet much faster and larger than truth. I found this quite stunning, or I was astonished, so that lies, they can diffuse in the internet much faster and deeper than truth. And in a study of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the MIT, it showed that truth needs 6 times longer than lies to reach 1,500 people. So truth needs 6 times longer to reach 1,500 people than lies. And basically, I just want to leave that with you, what you do with it. But I guess for me, it just showed how difficult it is for people to approach truth, to even, to even let it come close. That we're much more interested in lies, in knowing, in assumptions, in opinions, than in truth. So we could also say we are much more interested in sensations, in, it's interesting to have a lie and to have a strong opinion and wanting to be right. And it's an arousal in our nervous system. Whereas truth is very simple, is very basic, is not so exciting on one level. Internally, it can be very interesting and exciting, but it's not so sensation-seeking. And truth, I'm not speaking about your truth or my truth here. I'm not speaking about opinion-based truth or science-based truth. I'm really speaking more about the absolute truth, to what is fundamentally true. And to get there, we have to allow uncertainty. We have to allow not knowing, because we go into a realm in the absolute truth where we just don't know, but we can get interested for it. But to get there, we have to peel out all the things that we are not, all the belief systems, all the lies, all the opinions, the wanting to be right. And we have to become very empty, very alone, very spacious, and just curious to discover what's deeper than that. Who am I really? So we could say, to come from the lies of life to truth, first of all, this article says that it's not many that will go that way, because most people are not interested in truth. And on the other hand, if you're one who is interested, the ingredients on the way that you need is to allow uncertainty, to allow not knowing, to dive deeply into these spaces and just listen. Because even if you say, I'm on the path of truth, and you have strong opinions, and you think only that way leads to the truth. My teacher, Ananta, used to say, this is a one-way road or a dead-end road, Einbahnstraße. Then you know you're in a dead-end road. Because with the knowing, with the cognition, we will never even touch absolute truth. So maybe these words or pourings that come out of this body-mind organism, maybe they can be useful for you in this time where a lot of people are very identified with polarized opinions, and then they fight each other out of the view of separateness. No, this is like this, no, it's like this, and you should believe me. And then there is a clash of these separate selves. But in fact, this is Maya, this is illusion, because below that, we are one, and the opinions are just mind-made, personality-made, conditioning-made fractures of your reality, personal reality. But they're not in touch with the absolute truth. So maybe these pointers can be of value for you as you open yourself to the interbeing and open your heart, even in a difficult situation collectively now, and allow different opinions to be there, knowing that below you are one with everybody. And maybe you can even allow opinions to be there, and maybe you don't even have to react to them. You just allow life to play out as it plays out. And yet, from your deeper sense of being, you recognize we are one. And from there, you can start to pour out your nectar, your interbeing nectar, and create peace. And coming back to Thich Nhat Hanh, from whom I've been speaking in the beginning, he was a strong advocate of peace. He was living in exile in France most of his life, yet he was a Vietnamese monk. But he was strongly applying for the path of freedom in the Vietnam War. And then they sent him out of the country. But he shows the way how it goes if we really want to create peace from the inside out and then pour it out in the world and your surroundings. So I hope you can do that in your surroundings, in your families, in your friendships, and in your larger worlds. And I'll go clean my apartment now and see you soon. Bye-bye.